Good morning. In the last session, we did solids type of carburetor. Today we will be going to see Carter carburetor. Carter carburetor is normally used in SUV. It is a multiple jet plain tube type of carburetor with only one adjustment, which is for idling or low speed operation. That means we can say it is basically for high speed operation. A combination of gasoline and air is drawn into the nozzle chamber through the jets on the side of nozzle, forming a time spray, which is carried by the venturi. Jets on the side of nozzle comes into operation in direct proportion to throttle position. If we open the throttle, more number of jets are in operation, and if the throttle opening is less number of jets are in operation. Low speed jet assembly supplies gasoline to the engine at idle engine speed and up to approximately 20 km per hour. The brief description of the components and air and fuel circuit are as follows. The gasoline enters the float chamber, which is a conventional type as we have seen in our simple carburetor. Air enters into the choke tube from the top. A choke valve in the air passage is available, which is always fully open during the normal operation. Carter carburetor comprises of three types of venturis. It consists of three venturi. The smallest one is placed above the fuel level in float chamber, and the remaining two are designated at below the fuel level in float chamber, one below the other. At low speed, the suction in the venturi, that is on the smallest venturi, is sufficient to inject the fuel. Nozzle enters the venturi and throws the fuel up against airstream evenly, thereby providing finely atomized fuel. The mixture from the venturi flows centrally towards the second outside venturi, where it is surrounded by airstream, and then finally goes to our third venturi. Thus, an air blanket is always there outside the fuel-air mixture, so that the fuel-air mixture enters the engine in a well-mixed and atomized state. Multiple venturi gives more homogeneous and better mixture at very low speed, resulting in steady and smooth operation at low speed. This arrangement also ensures the required quantity formed mixture at the high speed. The metering system which is employed is of mechanical type, like we have seen in our simple carburetor also. In order to start the engine, the choke is incorporated in the air circuit. It is a butterfly type of valve, one half of which is spring control. When the engine is choked, the whole of the suction created by piston is exerted at the main nozzle, which then provides the fuel. Since the airflow is quite little, very rich amount of air-fuel mixture is provided when the engine starts. And after the starting, the spring control valve closes the choke valve automatically. Rich mixture in small quantity is needed in case of idling. In idling, as we know, the throttle valve remains practically closed, so entire suction pressure created by piston in engine is exerted at idle port. The idling speed can be adjusted by idle adjustment screw. The gasoline is inducted through the idle feed jet and air is injected by first bypass. This is the path for gasoline, this is for air. And this air fuel mixture is then entered through the idle port just below the throttle valve. For low speed operation, throttle valve is opened further and the main nozzle begins to supply the fuel. For some duration, during the low speed operation, the fuel is supplied by both main venturi and through the idle port. Then we have acceleration pump system. The purpose of acceleration pump system is to avert flat spot in case of sudden acceleration. It comprises of a plunger, which is again spring loaded, operating inside a cylinder consisting of non-return type of inlet valve and one exhaust valve. The plunger is connected to the accelerator pedal, as we can see in the figure, by throttle control rod. On rapidly opening the throttle by pressing the accelerator pedal, the pump is actuated and the small amount of gasoline is spurts into the choke tube by the jet. Releasing the accelerator pedal, the plunger goes back into its position and a suction is created, due to which gasoline enters into our cylinder for the next operation by a non-return type of inlet valve. Gasoline is delivered through the jet by checkout valve. The main and sole purpose of this acceleration pump is to provide extra support of little quantity of fuel during acceleration. This pump does not supply any fuel during other situations such as idling, running, cruising, or overload. So this is our Carter carburetor. In the next session, we will see about SU carburetor.